Hey guys, Level Cap here. Today we're taking a look at what's new in Assassin's Creed Origins. A big thank you to Ubisoft for giving us early access and sponsoring this video. Now, if you're not familiar with the Assassin's Creed franchise, it revolves around the secret world of the Assassin's Brotherhood. You play an assassin that uses parkour and advanced combat techniques to kill and escape from your enemies. Each game focuses on a different part of history and the high-level assassinations that surrounded their political sphere. If you want to check out Assassin's Creed Origins, check the link at the top of the video description. Now, Origins is the first game in the series to venture as far back as ancient Egypt. Previous games in the franchise have been set in relatively modern eras by comparison. The cities in Origins are separated by miles and miles of open desert. The architecture and layout of each city reflects the people that live there. Siwa is the starting area and it's populated by the common folk. As such, their buildings are smaller than average. The first major city you go to, Alexandria, is a massive urban center by comparison with a population of scholars, poets, royalty, and more. There's also some more rural areas with farms and small villages that add a bit more life and color when traveling between the big cities. When it comes to combat and weapons, Origins has an interesting mix of weapon classes. Ranged weapons offer a surprisingly effective way of killing your target without having to get too close. There are 4 different classes of bows in the game. The light bow is great for quickly taking down weak, close-range targets like guards with minimal armor. The Predator bow are designed for long-range attacks and are really useful while hunting animals. The Hunter bow is good against armored targets at medium range. And finally, the Warrior bow is similar to a shotgun. It's ideal for close-range targets that have a ton of health. Now, ranged combat is a fairly viable way of dealing with most enemies. Armored targets generally take a few hits to kill, but upgraded bows and abilities will make them much easier to take down. Similar to the ranged weapons, there are also 7 classes of melee weapons, each offering a unique combat style. However, melee weapons are a little more nuanced. Like the bows, they range from fast, close-quarter style weapons to slow, heavy-hitting weapons that offer more range and are better for dealing with multiple enemies. But the system goes deeper than just slower or faster variants. Different classes do more damage per hit than others. You can also unlock abilities that enhance your overpower attacks. As you fight, you can slowly gain points towards an overpower ability that gives you a momentary combat boost. Each weapon class has its own unique set of overpower attacks. As you progress through the game, you'll gain ability points that you can spend to upgrade your character and powers. For bows and melee weapons, you can unlock an ability for each that allows you to carry 2 at once. At any time, you can instantly switch between both weapons. And in addition to that, you can keep several different weapons in your inventory at all times, so you're never really limited to a small selection of weapons to choose from. And being able to switch weapons on the fly opens up your combat options significantly without slowing down the game by forcing you into the inventory screen. If you're attacking an enemy outpost, you might want to pick off the perimeter guards first with a Hunter or Predator bow, and then switch to a Light or Warrior bow when you get inside. Likewise, if you're dealing with one enemy and another sees the fight, switching weapons from a regular sword to a scepter will make dealing with reinforcements a bit easier. Now, when it comes to finding objectives and locations, Origins gives you a new option. Senu is your character's eagle that can be used to mark objectives, pinpoint enemies, and even harass enemies if you unlock that ability. Senu is the best way to scout out a mission area before entering it. Her ability to mark targets and objectives even works through walls. Key mission objectives can be highlighted by focusing Senu's reticule on them. And even though this is a fun mechanic, you really don't have to use the eagle if you don't want to. Aiming with a bow will mark targets, and wandering around a mission area will eventually lead you to the objective. When it comes to stealth, Senu is an invaluable resource. Stealth combat in Origins isn't the easiest thing to master, so being able to enter a mission area with most of the enemies and objectives already marked gives you a huge advantage. I'd like to dive deeper into some of the stealth tactics in a future video for you guys. Now, if you've never played an Assassin's Creed game before, I'd say Origins is certainly a good starting point. It has all the refinements made to the gameplay over the years from previous entries in the franchise, but it still offers new and rewarding ways to play. Normally, in an Assassin's Creed game, I'd find myself sitting in a bush waiting for enemies to pass by so I could take them out silently with some melee attacks, but in Origins I really have many more ways to play the game stealthily if I want, thanks to the addition of bows. It gives me many more options to approach the game. Anyway, I hope this video gave you guys a decent overview of the basics of Assassin's Creed Origins and helps you get into the game if you're looking to do so. As always guys, thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time. This is Levelcap, signing off.